Hello guys, welcome back to another video on the Stratus Forecast Weather channel. Hopefully you guys are having a very Merry Christmas. As we head into the end of Christmas and into the next couple of days, we're going to be talking about a potential severe weather threat that could include tornadoes, damaging wind, and large hail. In today's video, we're going to be going over that exact thing that I was just saying. We're going to be going over the severe weather potential that could be including areas like Texas, Kansas, portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, and portions of Arkansas. This threat will likely include a few strong tornadoes, a damaging wind threat, and a large hail threat as well. So, yeah, we'll first start off by going over the radar and satellite, and then we will be going over the future radar and stuff like that. So, yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, here we are. Just to clarify things, we are not going to be going over the United States. This is just a look at the radar and satellite across the United States. We're going to be primarily focusing on the severe weather threat that will be impacting places like Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, and portions of Dallas as well. So right now we're just dealing with some generalized rain and snow in the Pacific Northwest. This roll down to a few more additional, probably feet of snow and feet of rain if you think about it. A lot of lightning in the Gulf of Mexico and in the Caribbean Sea along the Gulf Coast as well. We're dealing with some thunderstorms that could possibly pack a punch, but these are obviously offshore, so nothing really happening right now. But we'll get right into that severe weather threat right now, as a matter of fact. Alright, so here we are. So we're dealing with a slight risk of severe weather that covers about the four states. We got Arkansas in here, we got Louisiana, Mississippi, excuse me. We've also got Louisiana, we've got Mississippi in this slight risk, we've got Texas in this slight risk, we've got very, very far southeastern portions of Oklahoma in this slight risk. We also got portions of southwestern portions of Arkansas, and it covers a pretty good chunk of Louisiana, Mississippi. No, it is Louisiana, sorry. Tornado risk. We're dealing with a widespread 5% risk, covers that exact area, and then a 2% risk that covers portions of far western Texas, far southeastern portions of Oklahoma, a good chunk of Arkansas, and far western parts of Louisiana and Mississippi. The wind threat goes for the exact same area, maybe a little bit more circled. 5% risk is for your localized damaging winds, isolated damaging winds, and then the 15% risk is your more scattered damaging winds. Hail threat is there as well. This covers most of Texas and maybe a sliver of Louisiana, but pretty much what we're going to be targeting today is the tornado, the wind, and the hail threat. So yeah, let's get right into this. Alright, so here's the reflectivity, or the future radar, I should say. Here we go. We're going to zoom all the way back to tomorrow when things get ramped up. So we're going to watch this line of thunderstorms develop midday tomorrow, and this will be later afternoon. And depending on what time this sets up, I will be possibly going live. It depends on how things set up and how fast they set up. I'm not waiting until 10 to 11 p.m. and then 12 a.m. for this thing to set up. That is not going to happen. But there's potential for a few isolated tornadoes embedded in these thunderstorms. So we're going to primarily be focusing on the thunderstorms that can be developing ahead of the front, that are mostly scattered and not associated within the front. More of the ones that are just individual cells. Those you will want to focus on the most in portions of far eastern Texas, excuse me. And this threat will continue on until Friday for portions of Louisiana. But unfortunately, this is not going to be more of a tornado risk anymore. This is going to be more of a damaging wind threat, and you're going to see that. And that's why they actually have us at a marginal risk as of now, because it doesn't look as good for tornadoes anyways. So as this line continues, it'll kind of fizzle out, and that'll probably be the end of it. But let's take a look at the ingredients that we have. Let's see. Temperatures, we'll see if we get high enough temperatures for these severe thunderstorms to develop. Temperatures look to be in the mid-60s, and they will rise into the 60s. 60s is just borderline good enough for severe weather. We also want to take a look at that dew point, obviously. So the dew point, wait for that slogan. The dew point looks very good for this. 60 to near 70 is very good for severe weather. It's not perfect, but it's there. We can also take a look at, we also need to take a look at that, the energy available. So as we go through, things get interesting. Later in the evening and overnight hours Thursday, we could have some brief tornadoes and spin-ups here. And then that line continues, and this is the reason why they think it's not going to be as big of a threat, because most of this is actually happening offshore of Louisiana coastline. And then that's what basically, it might get a little bit more interesting in the portions of Mississippi and portions of, I think that's Alabama or something, I'm not sure. But there's that. We also need to take a look at the shear available, because shear is relatively important if we get that spin in the atmosphere. As we continue on, we have plenty of spin there, so that's great. Not great for people there, because this increases the tornado threat to a more significant tornado threat. And then it continues on. It's still there for portions of Friday as well. The threat looks a little bit more enhanced, but the marginal risk is actually located central into southern Louisiana, so it's not. So most of this area is actually under just a generalized thunderstorm risk. And then that continues, and then that's along that front there that goes. We also want to take a look at the most unstable Cape, obviously. So here we go. It doesn't look great, but it's there. And then yeah, that's that. We also want to take a look at the supercell composite, because this will give us a good indication of what kind of supercell, if we can see any supercell thunderstorms to actually develop within this line or ahead of the line. So it looks decent there, but it's not great. And then Friday just looks worse, and then things could increase, question mark, come Friday afternoon, but it's definitely a possibility. Tornado parameter is most important right now. This will give us an indication of where we could see any tornado activity. So here we go. It's there. It's not great, but it's there. On probably late Thursday night, between 10 and 11 p.m. to 12 a.m., and then that threat kind of diminishes for a little while, and then maybe portions of far southern Louisiana get some of this tornado potentials, and then it continues on. It might even increase again come Friday afternoon across portions of the southeastern states. But there's that. So with that being said, where do I think the most tornadoes are going to occur? Well, personally, me. So if we take a look at the line of thunderstorms that we're seeing here, so when this line starts to form and these thunderstorms start to develop, I'm kind of looking for the thunderstorms ahead of the actual initial line of thunderstorms that is already. This is pretty much the cold front that you're dealing with here, that is going to push these thunderstorms off to the east. But anything that can form in front of it has a better potential of producing a tornado, and I'll explain to you why. So if the tornadoes can stay more widespread, numerous, and individual cells, the thunderstorms have more potential to actually produce a tornado, because within the line of thunderstorms, usually if you get like a thunderstorm to attach to the line of thunderstorms, it's a weaker chance of producing a tornado. So, but some of these cells, even in the future radar, do show some signs of rotation. So that's why we're going to be concerned about tomorrow's threat as far as tornadoes go, because this could pose a somewhat significant tornado threat for portions of eastern Texas, and this might even go into portions of western Louisiana, depending on how far this thing can go and stay alive at the same time. So to continue on, then this thing just comes together, which that's just not good for tornadoes at all. If it just comes together in a big blob like that, that just is not a good tornado maker at all. So basically, I'm thinking the best time for tornadoes is Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening and overnight into Friday. It's going to be a tight window, I think, between 7 p.m. and around 12 a.m. portions of Texas, where the biggest tornado threat is going to be a problem. I think it's going to be probably the area that I'm circling with my mouse right here. I think this is the biggest threat for tornadoes. Now, I don't think we're going to see other tornadoes happen along the front. I think we're going to see them happen ahead of the front where all the individual cells develop. But like that being said, if we take a look at the significant tornado parameter, it basically lines up with that prediction here. As you can see, it's right there. This is why. It basically lines up with that exact prediction. That's really all I have in this video for today. Maybe later this week I'll be making another video because we're gonna see a temperature warm up in portions of. It starts in the southeast and southern states, and then it will quickly rush into the mid and upper plains, and then it'll work its way to the east and cover most of the northeast. And with that being said, it's gonna bring a threat of rain and possibly some wind along with it across portions of the northeast. It'll cover pretty much the entire eastern half of the United States. And then we're going to watch for another Arctic blast that could occur as the polar vortex becomes a little bit more unstable and could release some more colder air from Canada and pushing in down from the upper plains, and then it'll push eventually into the eastern half of the United States. With the potential weather models in the future predicting, well, they were predicting and they continue to predict potential winter storms, but most of them as of now they look to stay offshore, but obviously things could change. But that will be covered in another video. Today's video was primarily to focus on the severe weather threat that could unfold in Texas. Again, we could see, I could see maybe 1 to 2 tornadoes within isolated, with maybe locally, with maybe if we get an enhanced risk, then I can update my forecast, because if we get an enhanced risk tomorrow, there's more potential that we could see more of a widespread, scattered to widespread outbreak. Not numerous outbreaks, but between scattered and widespread outbreak of tornadoes. But right now it looks like a small-scale tornado outbreak. Maybe 1 to 3 tornadoes at most. I would not rule out a strong tornado in there as well, because some of these indications that we're having here with the rotation from the models does indicate potential for maybe an isolated stronger tornado. I'm not talking like an EF4 or an EF5. I'm talking maybe like an EF1 to maybe closer to an EF2, maybe an EF3 if we can get the right environment, which it does look very likely at this point, but we'll have to see how things unfold tomorrow. But again, I'll give you guys another update tomorrow, depending on how things change, if we get an enhanced risk, or maybe if they update it all the way to a high risk, if models are really standing with that viewpoint. But we'll have to see how things unfold. There could be a live stream tomorrow, the first live stream ever on the channel, but this also depends on the timing. I'm not live streaming at 9, 10 p.m. I'm not live streaming at midnight, none of that. So if it's more like that, if it's more of like a 5 to 8 p.m. type deal, if I see something significant like an actual tornado that potentially drops on the ground or looks very concerning, then I will probably put up a live stream, but even then, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do it. But yeah, that's pretty much this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys want to see more content like this and more weather-related content like this, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to never miss an upload. And without further ado, hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. And as always, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.